Uh-oh. There's 3 bazillion people online. There's 7 billion people and 3 billion online. 8 billion online. Oh my goodness. 7 billion people, 8 million online. So nigga 4606 said hi first. Hi first at Taco Bell. The $5 box. How are you? I'm good. I'm eating Taco Bell. When I was in Ukraine, I went 2 years without eating Taco Bell. I gotta get my glasses on the camera. It says Caleb Rash. Oh my gosh, Caleb Rash. Good day, mate. Good day, mate. Caleb Rash. Good day, mate. Caleb Rash says, you know why Taco Bell tastes so good? He says because of the flavor. He always gets to make some pizza. Caleb Rash was born on his birthday. Barely. Hey, Caleb, do you like my new glasses? Caleb lives in Sydney, New South Wales. He was born on his birthday. And right now he lives in Hawaii. He lives by the Kapiolani Hospital in Honolulu. Taco Bell's good. If you get the $5 boxes, cheap. Taco Bell's expensive now, but $5 box is still cheap. I love Hawaii. Caleb loves Hawaii. Hey, Caleb. Last night, I went with my cousin Jared, who is Pez. in the game. We went to the Diamondbacks game and we got to. You like my glasses? These are my newest glasses. They're my new ones. We went to the Diamondbacks game versus the Blue Jays, and we were able to witness the grand slam by Corbin Carroll. Bases loaded, home run. He only had one. He went to bat 5 times. He got out every time. Clash of Clams. Good day, Pace. Yeah, I went with Pez to the game. So Corbin Carroll, he got out 4 times. He went up to bat the 5th time. Bottom of the 8th inning, tied 2-2 since the 6th inning. Bases loaded. He hits a grand slam. Then the top of the 9th, the Blue Jays got out. One up, 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts. Game over. Well, Carr, Curtis Lester Carr. We're Diamondbacks fans, and almost everybody here is a Diamondbacks fan. Because we live in Arizona. You don't really have a choice. But I was surprised how many Toronto Blue Jays fans are. Man. They were loud and annoying. I sat right next to one. And I was trash talking Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. did really good. Eat a crunchy taco for me. I had a soft taco. I don't eat crunchy tacos. I eat the soft ones. Crunchy ones break, and you might as well get a fork. Make it a salad. A taco salad. What do you mean, eat a crunchy taco? What is that all about? Oh my gosh. Is this a crunchy taco? What's up, dude? Moochie 9640. Wow. Hey Caleb, Moochie 9640 is finally back online. We've been looking for Moochie. Do you want to try my homemade? Wow. I don't know. Stranger danger. That's funny though. Zunika says yes. Wow. Yeah, but oh man. I like soft tacos. Moochie, do you know me in real life? Hey, oh, hey, Romero. Or Griffin. Griffin. I know some guy named Moochie says he knows me, but I don't know. Hey, how are you doing, Griffin? Oh, you work at Taco Bell? What? Are you here right now? You work at Taco Bell? You really do? I'm at the Taco Bell you're at now. I don't believe that. There's no one here. There's no one here. I'm inside the back, buddy. I don't believe you. Unless you're telling the truth. Moochie 9640. I mean, there are some people here that do subscribe. Come to the back. I have a present for you. No, I don't think so. Am I supposed to get murdered or something? He takes me out back, hits me with the baseball bat. So, Griffin, I went to the Diamondbacks game last night. You watched take your Disneyland. I'm just gonna take you Disneyland. Wow, well, your English isn't that good, but good try. So, Griffin, my cousin and I went. Do you want to see Jeffrey Dahmer? No, I don't. Thanks for asking. Okay, that's very soon. Uh-oh. Anybody joking about Jeffrey Dahmer? Oh, good job. I was about to do that. Yeah, good job, Griffin. So I was about to do that when you did it first. Anybody that talks about Jeffrey Dahmer, they can take a seat somewhere. We'll see you in 24 hours or whatever. Yeah, that guy, jeez, something crazy. Yeah. So what I was saying, the Diamondbacks won 6-4, 6-2. Yeah, too far. Man, that guy's an idiot. Griffin, people have been trolling some weird things lately, and that's just one of them. Weird things. And that one wasn't funny. And you beat me to it. I was this close to taking him out. I mean, I was like, trying to get the name and all. And then it said so and so was timed out or whatever. And like, what? And then I double checked and it was you that got him. And that's why you're a moderator, because you're good at it. But I finally figured out, yeah. So the Blue Jays were in the World Series last year versus Los Angeles, but LA won. But Blue Jays still have a good team, and for some reason they have a really good fan base in Arizona. I couldn't believe it. So I sat next to two fans on my left, and they were nice, but maybe I was the bad guy. But it was 2-2 in the sixth inning. No one scored in the seventh, and then Diamondbacks had bases loaded, and Corbin Carroll hits a grand slam to left field. The crowd went crazy, and then the top of the ninth, game was over. Arizona win, and they beat them the night before 6-3. Last night they beat them 6-2. There's a game tonight. I don't know who's winning. The Diamondbacks have the momentum. I mean, it's a game. Does it really matter? No, but oh crap! I just spilled my cinnamon twist all over the ground, all over my clothes. I got cinnamon dust everywhere. Oh yeah. See, because I've been gone. I actually went to Game 6 of the World Series in 2001 versus the Yankees right after 9/11. The World Series was pushed back to November instead of October. Versus the Yankees. The Yankees were favored, even though the Diamondbacks had home field advantages. And I was afraid the Diamondbacks would lose to the Yankees before the Game 7, so I bought one Game 6 ticket, and we scored 15-3 in Game 6. Those symmetries, they are good, but if you fumble them, I fumbled it because I wasn't paying attention. I went to grab my cup. Boom. There's probably 10 of them on the ground because I'm klutzy. Those symmetries are good. They are good. They're slightly tricky to eat because when you open your mouth, they're like, they're kind of twisted. So, I don't know. I'm not a perfect cinnamon twister. But I forgot. So I told you I found a Ferrari. I have my Ford GT concept car, Mustang. But I bought a little Ferrari Hot Wheels. And there's so many different Ferraris. I didn't know how many there was. And I'm not super familiar. But I have a new Ferrari Hot Wheels car. And I forgot to bring it into the Taco Bell with me. It's in the car. In the package, in the car. I feel guilty. I feel guilty when I spill food on the ground, especially if I can just pick it up. So I have to pick it up. I feel like if I made the mess, at least I can help clean up the darn mess. Yeah. Anyway, that's the news. So my cousin gave me. I have an Arizona Cardinals hat in Ukraine. He gave me this Arizona Diamondbacks hat. He gave me a, what is it? Suns hat, and he gave me a Phoenix Coyotes hat, even though they don't exist anymore. He gave me two at LaFerrari. At LaFerrari. Those. No, I got. I can't remember what it was. I'll have to take a picture of it because I forget. I get distracted, see a squirrel, and I forget to. But it's in the car in the passenger seat, front passenger seat. I think it's gray. Every once in a while in Ukraine, you see a Ferrari or a Corvette and really nice cars, and I'm like, wow, who on earth? Because Ukraine is the second poorest country in all of Europe, next to Moldova. Moldova is a little bit worse off, but who is driving a Ferrari in one of the poorest countries in the world, where people make average of 6,000 a year? You know, they average about $500 a month nationwide. That's middle class. 500, 6,000 a year, middle class. Who does that? My wife's family was so poor because her dad was paralyzed when she was 11. He fell out of a 5-story building, and disability was $100 a month. So my wife's family, when she was 11 to the time I met her, they lived off of $1,200 a year, Griffin. The 926 GTB GTS. I don't know which one, and I'll have to double check. You know what? I'll post it as soon as I get it. I'll take a picture and I'll post it on YouTube on the post thing. That way I know, because I just can't remember. It's not that I'm busy. So I spent the day with my mom today, and I bought her a brand new TV, a smart TV yesterday, because the TV she had wasn't a good TV, and I just went to Walmart, got there's a newer one too. It might be that. It might be the Stradale, because it's Italian, so it's not. It wouldn't be Stradale, it would be Stradale, right? Is that right? Because it's Italian. You have to pronounce it phonetically. It might be the F90 Stradale. That's what I'm thinking it is. Gray. But I went to bed late last night because I didn't get back to Mesa until 10:30 or something crazy, or maybe 11. And then I woke up early, and I woke up and went to visit my mom, and I was with my mom from 11 in the morning, I think, until 7 at night, so 8 hours. I hung with my mom this weekend too. I'm correct on the pronunciation. Yeah, Stradale. Most Americans, they don't know. They look at an Italian word and they just say Stradale. But I've made that same mistake so many times that I know better whenever it's a foreign language, like a Latin language. It's phonetic. So the good thing is Ukrainian is phonetic, just like Spanish. So I can read Ukrainian, I just don't know what it says. But I can read any book in Ukrainian. I can read it out loud. I just know a couple of words. My vocabulary is so small. But I can still read Ukrainian, and I can't read Russian. Out loud I can't. I can read it in my head, but out loud, out loud in Russian, the O's and the A's are reversed randomly in random words. Like, for example, Das Vidanya sounds like D-A, but it's spelled D-O in their Cyrillic alphabet. And random words mine is the F-A Tributo. Okay. 2023, wow. Well, yeah, it's I think it's, so many years ago at work, I had to take a Stingray, a used, beat up old Stingray to the shop, and I drove it, and I was surprised because that was the nicest car I'd ever driven at the time, like a 1970s or whatever it is, Stingray Corvette, how long the hood is, because like you can't really see the ground in front of you very easily. Like if you're in a SUV or some car with a small hood, you can see directly in front of you. The Stingray Corvette, man, I couldn't see a thing in front of me. It was so long, the hood, and I just never had it. But I only drove it like a mile. That was the longest I ever, maybe a mile and a half. It was the coolest thing I've ever driven. My dad had a 6x. Is it a 6x? It's a big old truck, and it has like 12 wheels or something, like an army truck, like a something that carries soldiers or something. He bought it. Engine, 3.9 liter twin turbocharged V8 horsepower, 711 or 720 CV, torque 560. pound per feeder 60. Oh, 0 to 60 in 2.9. Wow, top speed over 211. Wow. Wow. And then it says transmission 7-speed F1 super fast dual clutch automatic. Wow. Those are really cool words, but I don't actually know what all that means, even though I understand a little bit of it. Like top speed, I understand 211 miles an hour. So, yeah, 211 miles an hour. Wow. 0 to 60 in 2.9. Wow. 341 kilometers an hour. It's, yeah. I like the symbol of a Ferrari, the horse. It's really cool. And so, what's interesting, you have a Mustang and a Ferrari. Both of it have really cool horses. That's cool. Oh, I have a picture. I have an old picture from 1995 of me riding my dad. My dad had some horses, and I don't remember riding this horse, but in 1995, I rode this horse named Blaze. It was an Henri horse. What? Oh, on the raceway. Yeah, okay. You had me scared for a second. I was like, man. I thought before I saw the Sebring International Raceway, I was thinking you were riding on the road going 165. Super dangerous. But on a raceway, that's probably normal. That's probably total average. Let me see here. I'm going to show you a photo here if I can find it. Come on. Oh, here it is. So, this is a picture of me in 1994. Whoops. Oh, hold on. In 1995. And that's my dad's horse, Blaze. And he was tall, but he was so skittish. Like, he was afraid of his own shadow. Anything that made noise, he would jump. And he was a young horse, but, I mean, technically he was a good horse, but he was just a scaredy cat. Have you ever heard of the Bathurst 500? So, I lived in Bathurst, New South Wales, Australia for 1 month in a tiny little apartment. Oddly enough, I did that exact speed in I was like, what? Wow. Well, I've never gone that fast before. I've been in a helicopter and I've been on a lot of planes, but I've never gone that fast because I've never been. But so I was in Australia in Bathurst. There's an international raceway, and I guess they have a Bathurst 500 every year or something, or maybe twice a year. I don't know. But so some Australians saw me there. I was with my roommate, and he could tell we were Americans. I guess I don't know how, but he said, "Do you guys want to ride in the raceway?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Yeah, and so he didn't we didn't know we didn't realize that my roommate was an American from Idaho, and I'm from Arizona, so we didn't know there was a raceway in town. I never heard of it, but it's on the video game Gran Turismo 4 or 3 or 4 or 5. One of the racetrack is the Bathurst racetrack in Australia, and apparently it's open all the time when it's off season or whatever. It's just an open track. So he got in his personal car and I told him don't go fast because we're not allowed to die. Our moms would kill us. So he just drove us around the track, just to show us, at a kind of a safe speed. And he was really nice of the Australian guy to do that for us because he didn't have to do that. But, they're very nice and hospitable. And he wanted to show us something that we'd never see. Are you... run what you brung. Yeah, run what you brung. Yeah. So there was this warrant officer years and years ago, and he would say, "Ride like you hide." Like if he catches you wearing your chonies or your underwear and socks or something, he would say, "You ride like you hide," and he would put people in handcuffs in their underwear and socks or something. I mean, probably I never witnessed it, but he told me that. And so I went to the Diamondbacks game. I saw a guy from work that I haven't seen in a couple years randomly at the game. And I saw him before he saw me, so I walked right up to him and I said, "Hi, Dad." And he looked at me. He's like, "What are you doing in America?" He was so surprised to see me in America. Apparently he didn't watch all mine. He knew I was in Ukraine, but apparently he didn't watch that I came back. Or maybe he did, I don't know. But it just randomly, I saw a former coworker. He's still working. He said, "How do you like retirement?" I said, "I love being retired." been paid to breathe. Never in my whole life have been paid to just breathe. And now that the more I breathe, the more I get paid, I guess, And my life isn't super exciting, but I like hanging out with my mom, and she was, I don't know what's going on, but she was really lonely, even though she had a lot of different visitors. But now she has me. I just sit there and watch movies. And just before I came here, we were watching The Sound of Music on BYU TV. So, and you know what? I haven't seen this. I've never seen that movie before. I just know part of the whatever. And maybe I watched it as a kid. I just don't remember. It's actually pretty funny. I was really surprised how funny that movie is. And I guess it's based on a true story. Run what you're wrong. Sound of Music, based on a true story, allegedly. And one of my friends on Facebook recently went over to Austria and got pictures where that movie was taken, where the movie took place, or where maybe where the original storyline took place, or something like that. I can't tell the difference. I mean, when I saw the video today, I couldn't recognize anything that she had posted on Facebook. The freedom of retirement. Oh yeah. So the couple months before I retired, I went to this retirement training things, and so you could ask all the questions. I was the youngest person there. Everybody was like 65, and I was 50 or turning 50 soon. So I was 49, going on 50. Everybody in the room was 65, retiring, and I think they were thinking I was in the wrong room, but I had to retire early. I wasn't going to survive. I was not happy. Ooh, not happy. What's funny is earlier, when I first started this live stream, one of my coworkers that is still working there apparently, he was saying hi. It was funny. He's a funny guy. And I saw him, I saw him twice, I think. At least once. That's the news. Yeah, man. I love being retired. I feel 10 years younger. My stress went down a lot, so much. And I like hanging out with my mom right now because she actually, today, she ate all her food, which she hadn't been doing. And she ate it like she was like there wasn't going to be seconds if she didn't hurry. So, and they cooked her some, she had pork and beans, she loved it. Potato salad, macaroni salad, steamed vegetables like broccoli and baby carrots, and then some barbecued chicken, whatever. But it was like shredded. It was shredded chicken, barbecued, and then coleslaw. It seemed like there was something else, but she ate everything on her plate, every single thing. And then my uncle came by and bought a watermelon for the whole house, because there's probably 8 people living there. It's a big house. And I've spent a lot of time with my mom when she goes. Oh no, yeah, that's how I feel, totally. And you know what? Let me tell you something. When I went to, because I used to spend every weekend with her. I worked 4 days and 3 days off. I spent every 3-day weekend with her for 8 straight years without missing a week. And I took her to Ukraine for a month. And so when I went to Ukraine and she was forced to be 100% independent, that's when she fell and hit her head and broke her arm. And I felt so guilty. And so I felt so guilty that if I was there, she wouldn't have fallen, because she was bringing in the groceries on a windy day. It just gave us a cold. Yes. So that's what my uncle did. My uncle used to sell produce he had a produce warehouse, and so he's really good at picking them by tapping them, whatever. I don't know how, but he had it in his fridge all day, and so he brought it. So it was a cold watermelon, big, it wasn't long. It was just big fat circle, and he was tapping it, showing me how to test it. I still can't do it, but man, how do you beat watermelon? So watermelon is really popular in Ukraine and very cheap. They grow it in like the south part of Ukraine, and they sell it during certain times of year, really, really cheaper than America, I think. And it's so good, and it's healthy for you. So I don't know if you know this, but there was an American man that worked for the post office until he was 95 years old, and he was interviewed by the media, and they asked him, "What is your secret to longevity?" And he said, "Watermelon is the secret." He goes, he would eat watermelon every day of the year. I don't know how he did that because it's out of season sometimes. Hurt yourself or gets hurt. My mom either hurts herself or gets debit cards. Wow. You know, that reminds, who was it recently? So two of the caregivers are at least two of them are Jamaican, and I found out Usain Bolt, the fastest man in the world from Jamaica, someone took $12.8 million. He had these people investing his money, and a couple of the whatever clerks scammed him, frauded him of $12.8 million, and he hasn't got the money back. 12.8 million, dude. Evil people. My mom doesn't even have her card, so we just use her cards when they need it, but we don't even use it. So she gets money from Social Security, and it's just stacking up because no need to use it. I just buy everything, so we're hiding her debit cards from hacked, from scams. That's so unbelievable. People steal old people's stuff. So in the parking lot that I'm at, there's a Fry supermarket, which is Kroger in different states. And during December, the month of December, coming up to Christmas, there was a city employee whose mother was in this parking lot. Some man was in a passenger car, and he ripped the purse off of her shoulder, and they were dragging her from the car. And so the police found out who he was. Somehow they put a whole SWAT team on him or something. Found out who he was, and he attacked a mother of a city employee, maybe some high official. I don't know exactly who. So they hunted him down, and I saw him, and I'm like, what a dirtbag. He's just a druggie, you know? He's a drug addict, and so during Christmas time, he's gonna drag an old lady to get her purse, and maybe she has $20 or something. He's gonna kill a little lady for 20. Unbelievable. It's crazy. People are idiots. But it just happened right here where I'm at, in the joint parking lot of the thing. Oh. Yeah. So I went through the police academy with this guy. His last name was Griffin. I don't remember his first name, but so he had the crest of his family name, last name Griffin, tattooed on his right calf. Whenever we were running, I'd look at it, and it looks like a griffin to me, I guess. But he was quiet, big dude, and when you had to go one-on-one with someone you had to box somebody with boxing gloves and like a boxing helmet and everything. His arms were it was like he was throwing logs. He was so big, such a big dude. And they do it for nothing now. The Ukrainian girl in New York. Oh yeah. Did you hear about the other Ukrainian girl on Valentine's Day? That girl would still be alive if she wasn't murdered for nothing. They didn't even rob her. That guy didn't rob her. If you can look this up, Ukrainian girl gets murdered on Valentine's Day. So another Ukrainian girl, this past Valentine's Day. Oh wow, you're 6. I'm like 5'6" and at least 200 because of Taco Bell. But I didn't realize you were that tall, dude. My mom is like 5'1". I'm barely 5'6" at that. So, but anyway, Valentine's Day, this Ukrainian girl came as a refugee in her early 20s. She met an American. They were dating. Then she dumped him or whatever because he's a dirtbag, and then started dating someone else. She got murdered on Valentine's Day by her ex-American boyfriend. She'd still be alive if she was in Ukraine, probably. I talked to my wife recently, and they've been bombing the hell out of Ukraine. So she'll go 24 hours without any power. Oh, and then when she does have power, it's like 4 hours a day, but not 1 hour at a time. Like 1 hour, power off, 1 hour, power off, 1 hour, power off. And 2 of those hours are usually at like 1 in the morning or 3 in the morning. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's so sad. It is so sad. This world is tough, man. Life is not easy. my life is easy right now, and I'm trying to help my mom have some good times before. But her life has relatively been good until she fell, went boom, and went to the hospital, and then was no longer independent. Now that she needs professional medical help 24/7, it's not easy to watch that and it's not easy for her because she's so used to being independent. She was independent for 77 years. She'll have a birthday coming up soon. Oh, so because these Jamaican people, I've been studying like Bob Marley's history because I didn't know he died at 36, whatever. His wife is Rita Marley. She's exactly one day older than my mom. So that's interesting. Life is very hard for a lot of people. Yeah. You never know what someone's. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. And you know what? Foreigners, like so many this is a fact. So many Ukrainians, their dream is to come to America, but they don't speak English. They would have a hard time. The people that I know that want to come over here that don't speak, they would have such a hard time if in America, if you don't speak the language, because coming over here, that doesn't solve all your problems. Life isn't necessarily easy in America. It can be really hard in America. If you don't have money, it's not easy, If you don't have some sort of opportunity, I mean, you can create opportunity with hard work, but if you don't speak English, it's very difficult. And if you have no family or friends, and if you flew from Ukraine to America, problems follow you. That's true too. Yeah. Problems follow you. You gotta keep your nose clean and obey the law, because a lot of times people ruin their lives by they commit one crime and they get stuck in the criminal justice system, and it's a nightmare. I've seen that a lot of times where good people get stuck. They get released and then they have to pay fines or something. If they don't pay fines, then they get a warrant. And then, oh my gosh, total nightmare. You have to take care of things at the source. That's true. Gotta take care of stuff. Life, man. I've been blessed. I have really good parents, and so that helps a lot. When you have good parents, man, it helps so much. And my parents, they had 7 kids, so they didn't really have a lot of money, but I always wore my brother's hand-me-downs, and it was normal. Every clothes I wore was my brother wore 7 years before me. You have to take care of things at the source, So when I don't know if I told you this, but when I flew to Ukraine, I just had the shirt on my back, and I had a nice shirt, and a nice pair of pants, and a nice pair of shoes, and I went with almost zero luggage, just a backpack to Ukraine when I first went there. My bare essentials. I didn't even have a computer. I just had a cell phone. And then I got a cheap laptop when I got to Ukraine. And when I came back from Ukraine to here, all I had was that backpack and my laptop, and just a shirt and t-shirt. I had to buy clothes in Poland, and then I bought some more when I got to America. I had to buy some clean underwear in Poland and another shirt or a couple shirts and stuff like that. I had to buy a new pair of shoes because my shoes were, man. What did I do with my shoes? Oh, I lost my shoes. I lost them I couldn't fit them in my carry-on, and I went on the cheap airplanes, like Frontier style. We have to pay for meals and stuff because I was just trying to go cheap to America. So my one-way ticket from Poland, it wasn't one-way, it was three layovers, so 4 planes. It was like $600. That's super cheap from Poland to Phoenix. $600 one way. That's super cheap, but it's because I rode 4 planes that have no frills, like no food. So you have to eat when you land, or pay them when you get on there. And you can only have that one carry-on. Otherwise, you have to pay like, I don't know, some crazy amount for that thing. Hello, yes, hello, Mom. So sometimes I'll bring watermelon to my mom, and she really likes that. But my uncle brought it today. What else? Something else I bring her. I can't remember. Oh, she likes cottage cheese. They have here at the supermarket. They have cottage cheese with pineapple in it. She'll only eat a little bit. So you're actually with your mom right now. I still call my wife and everything, but I don't think my wife misses me. Maybe she does. I don't know. So that's the news. It's weird driving because I didn't drive a car. That's a. She's eating this. Brian said hi. What? Watermelon? Oh, really? Or watermelon? Okay. Yeah. I try to get my mom some. So instead of making a mess and cutting up watermelon, I just buy the pre-cut watermelon, and to me, it's fine. I'm not. I'm not picky when it comes to watermelon. But what I was gonna say was, I can't remember. Oh, when I was in Ukraine, I didn't ride a bicycle or drive a car for 2 years when I was there, 22 months. So, and then my brother has an extra car, so I've been driving it, and it's weird after not driving for 2 years, driving again. So I try to be careful because it's not my car, and I don't drive for. I mean, so I didn't drive to Phoenix to the baseball game. I drove to my cousin's house, and then I was a passenger in his car, and I made not a live stream, but a widescreen video of it, just driving in Phoenix to the game. Traffic was crazy. It was rush hour traffic. That is the news. I don't even know what time it is. What time is it? Let's see what time it is. It is 8:10 at night. Yeah, or was weird for me to get behind the wheel again after those years. You got to be kidding. I'm assuming you're teasing me, but if you're not, then okay. But sometimes, I like to tease people like that kind of stuff. But when people tease me, you're kidding. Yeah, okay. What I was about to say was when people kid me, I have a hard time gauging like if they're joking or not. And it's funny because I'm always teasing people, the same exact stuff that you just said. But so when people tell me something that seems kind of wild, I just say, yo, that sounds true. Like it could be true. So that's the news. You're kidding, obviously. Yeah, I understand. But man. Yeah, that fraud stuff really is annoying, isn't it? For other people, you said like them, hacking credit cards and crap. You know what's funny is I have more problems with my debit card in America than I did in Ukraine. In Ukraine, I would use the ATM, and they would charge like 75 cents for out of bank. So I'm only getting charged 75 cents across the world. If I choose a different bank here, it's $5 for the wrong bank, credit union or something stupid. And then I had no problems when I was in Ukraine. I was using my debit card everywhere, no problem. I come here and they're like, "Oh, fraud alert, fraud alert." Maybe because I came back to America and they're like, thought I was still in Ukraine. But I was getting, I had to call my bank 20 times and just go to the ATM of the bank, and I never carry cash. If I ever say anything off the wall like that, or you're second guessing, please know I'm joking. Yes, I know. I assumed you were joking because the situation, but it's just funny that I was like, oh. I understand that. But I was raised with uncles that liked to tease. My mom was one of 10 kids and only 4 girls and 6 boys, so she had 6 brothers, and all of them liked to tease, like pretty hard teases. So, my head was spinning growing up, like what is fact and fiction? And they were all good guys. They would tease. That's all. They would try to be funny, and they were funny. And so one of my uncles that has always been funny and likes to tease. He's the one that I go splitting wood with. If you saw any of those live stream videos, that's one of my uncles. And so I helped him make a YouTube channel because he wanted to share. He has friends in Chile. He lived in Chile for 4 years, and so he likes to send those videos to his friends. And he also has whole bunch of kids and grandkids, so he wants to share, his working videos of. He worked for so many years doing a tree service and owning a tree service, and so he likes to make videos of him chopping down trees with his chainsaw and splitting wood with his splitter and all that. But he didn't know how to make the channel. And he said, "Do you know how to make a channel?" I said, "Yeah, it takes about 3 seconds." And then, the other day he saw me. He was visiting my mom at the care home, and he said, "Do you know where I can buy a selfie stick?" I said, "I have one in my car. I have an extra one because I couldn't find one, so I bought a second one. And then I found the old one, brand new in the package. Boom, handed it to him. He goes, "Well, how do you use it?" And I was like, "Well, it has instructions." And I showed him the straight, and it has like a remote button. My grandpa and dad who both have my name. Oh wow, we're big jokesters or pranksters, and my brother and I inherit. Oh my goodness, wow. The fourth, that's pretty cool, man. So my father was a junior, and my grandfather was a senior, but I never saw him because he had 8 kids and he died at 47 of cancer after he fought in World War II. He survived World War II, comes home and dies of cancer at 47 with 8 kids, including 2 sets of twins. He was a senior and my dad's a junior, but my dad's first boy, he didn't name him the third, but he could have. I mean, that's pretty cool. I hope I see my grandpa for the first time in the next life, That'd be cool. I have no kids, and so it stops me, and I carry some guilt with that. Well, you know what? Here's the thing, though. If you're married, and marriage is way tougher than when I got. That would be cool. So when I got married at 21 the first time, and I thought life would be perfect. There's 0 problems. We had no debt. We had no problems. And then that lasted 2 months, dude. A girl that I grew up with around the corner, I saw her in church every Sunday for 8 years. I knew her dad really well. I knew her whole family before I ever asked her out on a date because we grew up around each other. And I saw her at church activities in the middle of the week. So I saw her at least twice a week, every week for 8 years before I even asked her on a date. I thought life was going to be easy. 2 months later, she said she kicked me to the curb because she wanted me to quit my job and then work at Taco Bell. I was like, well, Luis is here. The guy that... Luis is here. Oh. But yeah, man. So my grandma had it hard because I think she was 46 with 8 kids when he died. So she had to go to school to become a school teacher. She had to go to Arizona State University to get her teaching degree. And then she was a school teacher. But because she didn't take the math classes needed, she could only teach kindergarten through 2nd grade, I think, basic math or whatever. But she did it till she was 65. So she worked there for like 20 years or something like that. And that was not easy for her with 8 kids. Oh my gosh. My grandma had it rough. It was really rough. What can you do? And she was a tough lady, man. No one would give her grief because it's like, imagine a lady that's had a rough life and then her son, but that's it. Yeah, I've had 2 families. Because she changed her mind and wanted kids. Oh, we stayed friends and she has 2 daughters now. Wow. What can you do? Really, what can you do? And so everything will be okay in the next life. I think that everything will be okay. So I wouldn't panic because I believe in there's the next life. So I believe in heaven and all that. So. Yeah, my second marriage, I got married in 96, January 96, lasted 2.5 months, and then 96, I didn't even date a girl until 2008, so it took me 12 years before I even dated a girl again, and then I married that was a girl, she was a foreign exchange student from China. We got married in 8 days, we got married in Vegas after I met her, and I thought I was going to retire in China, but then her mom was so homesick and begged her to come home, and I was crying like a baby. I couldn't believe how it was so sad. It was sad for me. So I'm on my third. I had two. Oh, man. You never know when you get married. You think life is going to be perfect. That's how I felt. Because I was committed, but what I found out was it only takes one person to say, see you later, you know? You don't have to agree. It just happens, man. Oh, man. It happens. So my grandpa had a farm down in southern Arizona in a farming town called Elfrida. And I'd have to look it on a map, but I used to spend my summers there. But 20 years after he sold that farm, he I went to a football game down there, a high school football game. Hey, Luis, how's it going? It's good to see you. Did you bring your bike?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And it has a light on it. I saw the light, right? Yeah. And you're close, so that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. So I met a lady at the football game she was the cashier selling the tickets, and I said to her, I showed her on the map of where my grandpa's farmhouse was, and I said, "Do you recognize this area?" Because it was a mile or less than a mile away from the football stadium. And she goes, "Yeah." I said, when you were growing up, did you ever buy watermelons or cantaloupe or squash or pumpkins there?" She goes, "Yeah, we used to buy watermelons all the time." I said, "That was my grandpa's farm." So 20 years after my grandpa sold the farm, I met a lady that bought, because she was close to I met a lady that, and maybe it was 30 years after he sold the farm, I met a lady that had bought watermelons when she was young. My second and I couldn't have tried any harder because I fell harder with her than any before. Wow. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. What do you do? Wow. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that. The crazy thing is, before I ever got married, I probably had a lot of marriage advice. And now that I'm on my third wife, I have zero marriage advice. So I don't know. Because life is like, how can I tell anyone? How can I give any advice to anybody when I'm and I think it's harder for you than me, just because you're maybe the corporate situation. Like that's got to be tough. It's got to be tough. Haven't dated ever since when I was 20, 22. Yeah. I don't know what to say about that, but I feel your pain because. So my aunt and uncle, they're really close to me, and they knew that I was hesitant, but they knew a girl. So my uncle was a firefighter, and his battalion chief was friends with his family that had a girl that was single. I guess she got divorced and everything. She had a master's degree. She's really pretty. She lived in El Salvador for 2 years, so she speaks fluent Spanish. But she's a white girl. But I went on a date with her. She was too nice for me. Like she was just way out of my league, and so I took her on like 4 dates, like dinner and a movie. But it took them an hour for them just to convince me, because I was like, I don't want to date. I'm just scared. I'm petrified. So I feel your pain, and they really worked so hard on me, and I was like, man, I feel like I'm wasting her time. Like she can find somebody because she's smart, she's educated, and she's beautiful, and I feel like, I just felt like she was so out of my league, and she ended up marrying someone else. Here's what's funny. Her sister was married to one of my coworkers, and my supervisor heard that I went on a date, and so he was jokingly, so the guy that was the brother-in-law to the girl I went on a date with, a blind date with the supervisor joked, and he says, "Hey, I heard you went on a date with some floozy last night." I said, "That's funny because it's his sister-in-law." Dates, or tell them about the truth. Yeah. Yeah, because it alters their reason why, and I understand that.
Sorry, you're coming tomorrow?
Coming here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at what time?
Well, they don't open till 7, right?
Yeah.
So after 7. Yeah.
I'll be here tomorrow.
What's that?
I'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Are you leaving right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Kind of windy.
It's windy?
Yeah. I can feel it like.
Yeah, but you live close.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's hard to pedal when you're windy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're close.
I'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow.
Okay, see you tomorrow. See you, Luis. Yeah. I don't have that problem, but it's a problem with every single person in your shoes. Major problem. Major problem. And it's tough, man. It's tough. I don't know what to say about that, but life is hard, and then you're in a situation that, nah. I wish I had some advice, but unfortunately, it's not Wendy's, it's Taco Bell. Taco Bell. Yeah, this is Taco Bell. I haven't been to Wendy's in 2 years, so maybe I'll go to Wendy's. I love their French fries and their Frosties, and I love their potatoes with sour cream. Oh my goodness. How can you beat a cheeseburger and then a baked potato with sour cream and cheese? It's hard to beat. It's hard to beat. Yeah, that guy said it was windy. Oh, I get it now. Yeah. So apparently that's the guy I met the other day. I've seen him. He comes there every day, but he rides a bicycle. He lives across the street from Taco Bell, and apparently he does landscaping 5 days, Monday through Friday, and on the weekends he doesn't work. And but he has some sort of learning disability to where he said he can't read, but he graduated high school. I don't know how that happens, but I believe him. But apparently he seems like a really nice guy, and he hangs out he works with his dad, so that's good. But on his side hustle is he collects cans when he's not working to earn extra money, and he has one of those lowrider bicycles like you would see in Los Angeles. Just go here. Wow. You know what's funny? I've never been to Florida. I've been to the Atlanta, Georgia airport. I've been to a lot of airports. I've never been to a Florida airport. And growing up, my favorite football team was the Miami Dolphins because I like Dan Marino. And I don't know if you know Larry Sonka. So years ago, there was an international, it was called the International SHOT Show in Las Vegas. Okay, you're just going for it. And Larry Sonka was on the Miami Dolphins. Oh, I found you. Bubble. Oh my gosh. Hold on. This guy. Whoops. So I didn't know what a bubble guppy was, but that guy's an underage kid, and he trolled me in the past. And that's why he said, I found you. Yeah, I know. So, Larry Sonka was signing autographs at the SHOT Show in Las Vegas. It was like a firearm show, and I went with a guy that had a gun dealership or license or something like that. So he was able to go to the SHOT Show, and he brought me. It was not open to the public. You had to have some sort of invitation or whatever, and you had to have like some sort of firearms license to sell or something. And I didn't have one, but my friend did. Kid. Yeah, that guy. He was bad news. And I think he has 2 accounts, so he might bounce on again. But anyway, I got his autograph, and he was the coolest guy. And so I shook his hand, the one that had the Miami Dolphins Super Bowl champ hand. So with part of my finger, I touched the Super Bowl, the Miami Dolphins Super Bowl ring randomly because I'm shaking that hand. So that was cool. Such a nice guy. And he was providing he had a picture of him, and he provided, and he would say, what's your name? And he would write to whoever, like personalize every nice glossy photo of him in uniform playing on the field. And it was free I guess it was a promotion for the show, and maybe he was compensated through the show. Oh, he was so nice. Such a nice guy, man. And humble. Here's a Super Bowl champ, the only undefeated season in the history of the NFL, even though it was a shorter season. Super humble and so cool. And when I saw him, I couldn't believe it, because I didn't grow up watching him. because he was before my time. But I watched old videos of him and playing. Oh my goodness! I think he won the Super Bowl in like '72, and I was born in '74, so it was. He won that ring. That ring is 2 years older than me when I was shaking his hand. But Dan Marino, I feel bad for Dan Marino because he's so good. I wouldn't. Yeah, yeah, that's true too. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible he bought the table, and just wanted to do that. That's possible. That's possible. Meanwhile, that was the same year. I can't remember exactly what year it is, but I know it was like 97, 98, or 99, one of those 3 years. But it was the same year Taser came out, and the Taser had a booth, and they were showing people getting tased like it was brand new on the market before all the police departments had it. That's what yeah. So, like I was saying about Dan Marino, I for some reason I just liked his style, the way he played, even though he never won a Super Bowl, and 4 years in a row the Bills beat him out of the. Yeah, benefits are great. I know about it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely true. It's just amazing to meet people like Larry Zonka like that, and randomly, I didn't know it wasn't happening. So I'll tell you, I don't know if you know who Luis Gonzalez for the Diamondbacks. He's a super nice athlete. He's probably the nicest athlete next to Larry Zonka because my two nephews. It was during 2002, right after the Diamondbacks won the World Series. He was promoting this card game called MLB Showdown, which you basically play cards to. Yes, he got kidnapped in Ace Ventura. That was hilarious. Yeah, that was a funny movie. Finkel and Einhorn. That was so funny. That was a fun movie. And he was a good sport about it. Dan Marino, the same thing. Like, he was a good sport about being kidnapped in a movie. Like, I don't know if you know The Rock. He has something in his contract where he can't lose. In his movies, he can never lose. Like, that's against his contract. Dan Marino was a good sport. He's like, yeah, go ahead and kidnap me. Hold me for ransom. That's a lose. And then Ace Ventura had to save him. Finkel is a man. I love those movies. Oh man, I love Dumb and Dumber and Me, Myself, and Irene and Ace Ventura: Pants Protector. Those are funny movies. He's funny. If I remember right, let's see. Dumb and Dumber came out in like 1995 or 94, late 94 or early 95. So when I'm flying from Sydney to Los Angeles, when I'm going home from Australia to America, Dumb and Dumber was on the movie. So it must have been 94 because I left in 95. That came out in 94. Oh, it was 94. Okay. Oh, you mean Ace Ventura. Okay. Yeah. That guy's just funny, man. He's funny as heck. And I don't know what he's like in real life, but he's probably crazy 24/7, man. He reminds me a lot of Robin Williams, where he can't turn it off. It's turned on, and I've seen him in interviews, and man, Jim Carrey he's always on. Like, I don't think he can turn off his cameras. Crazy. But that's how I feel. I could be wrong. That's how I feel. 94. That's right. Okay, so that's the reason why I saw it on the plane, because I left in May 95, but it had already been out in the theaters. So, or the Ace Ventura movie. Ace Ventura. The second one, I don't know if you saw the second one where he came out of the rear end of a rhinoceros. Oh my gosh, that was so gross, but funny. Oh my gosh, because he was sweating in there. I was stationed at Fort Carson. He's my age in Denver, and we went to the mall there and watched it. Wow, okay. That's fun. So you had good times hanging out. So my mom had 7 kids, and then I have 28 nieces and nephews. And I have 15 plus great nieces and nephews. Saw them both. Yeah, both. Yeah. So I don't watch a lot of Radar movies, but Me, Myself, and Irene, that was so funny, so funny. That movie is just too funny, and it's hard to clean up that, but it was so funny. And the name's Hank. He did so good on that movie. That was a good movie. I like comedy. I was dating a senior. What? Wow. So I was. Oh my gosh. Wow. I believe Columbine happened in 1999, right? Like April '99 or something like that. But you were so you were senior Columbine '94. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. So I was born in '90 or '74. I was born in '74 and I graduated in '92. And I went to one semester of community college, and man, I really didn't like it. And I was paying for it, and man, I felt like I didn't learn anything, and I just felt like, oh man, UETS had left right before that happened. She had already graduated. Well, yeah, yeah. I'm not sure what ETSD means. Is that like medical school? ETS. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure what that means. You know what? Thinking back, if I didn't understand that a lot of men are nurses, like registered nurses, I kind of feel like I should have gone to nursing school after I graduated high school instead of not going to school at all, or join the military. Because the best man at my first wedding, he joined the military. He was in the army for 8 years, and he loved it. And he didn't even join the army until he was like 24. So he was older than all the other recruits. Get out of the military when your time is. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, so you. Okay. Yeah, I should have joined the military. Like my friend, he would have been in there 20 plus years. And I have a cousin that's a female, and she married a guy that was enlisted for 5 years, and then he went to officer school, and now he's an officer, and he just made a career of it, and he loves it. I don't think he would know what to do because he just loves it so much. Like if you love your job, it makes a huge difference. And instead of signing up for 4 years, he signed up for 5 when he was 18. The recruiter got him, but he just stayed with it and loved it, and he's still in it. And I think he's retired. He's retiring soon, or he can retire soon. Like he's been doing it enough years so he can retire, which is awesome. And then he could do something else because I think he's 38 and he's retired of the military or something like that. And maybe I'm wrong, but he can do something else at 38 or 30. In fact, I think he joined at 17 somehow. Like I don't know how you do it, but so he might even be 37. And ETS basically means getting out of the military. In terms of, yeah. So my friend, his dad was in the Air Force and he was a pilot, and then he became a private pilot after a certain amount of years. So he flew for Worldwide Airlines. My stepdad did. Wow. 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 21 years as a contractor. Wow. So my uncle got a college degree, and then he didn't know what to do with his life, so he ended up joining the army, enlisted, and he loved it so much. He became an officer, and he ended up, I think he did just a straight like 23 years or something, and became a major, and then he got out. But he spoke fluent Portuguese, Spanish, and English, but he lived in Brazil for a couple of years. That's where he learned Portuguese, and then they paid him to learn Spanish in some crash course, and then he traveled. He lived in Panama, Belgium, Spain, different places, and he had 5 kids, and they were and all 3 of his boys were enlisted to get their GI Bill or something, and then he had 2 daughters, 5 kids, and they traveled the world. They loved it. They loved traveling the world. They've been all over. Anyway, I got to get some sleep because I've been up since early, and I haven't taken it. He was, wow, jungle expert, and I'm not sure what MACV SOG is, but it sounds pretty cool. 3 tours, wow, wow, jungle expert. That's pretty hardcore. So my dad's cousin was in the Vietnam War, and he served a couple tours and everything. And he saw some crazy things in the jungle, but he said there was like temples in the jungle, like I don't know if it's Cambodia, but like French, like I guess the French had part of Vietnam or something like that, colonized, and they built it. The jungle overtook the big spacious buildings or whatever. Google Mac VSOG when you got time. Okay, Mac VSOG. Okay, in Vietnam. Wow. And he would tell us stories about different things. Like he said, if you got, because I asked him a question, if he ever got close enough to use his knife, he goes, if you're ever close enough to use your knife, you're too close. That's what his answer was. He goes, yeah, you're not supposed to get that close to the enemy. But he had, after Vietnam, I think he had like nightmares, but he was quiet about it, and he ended up getting a divorce, and he would just drink vodka. I remember riding horses in the desert with him. His horse stopped, and he slowly did a summer child off because he was so hammered drunk. This is my dad's cousin that was in Vietnam. The nicest guy, And if you asked him questions, he wouldn't just tell you, but if you asked him questions, he would answer about the war and to say something, not anything gory, but just like interesting, how different it was and stuff. 22, wow, 43 years. I retired after 28, and I was, man, 43 is amazing. But he must have loved it. Must have been 20 some, yeah. Oh, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're like, should I trust this guy? Is this guy gonna whack me? Yeah, it's interesting. But man, if I don't think I could have been in the Marines for whatever reason, but I kind of feel like the Army would have been interesting. I love traveling and seeing the world. I love history, and I know that the people in the Army and I know the Marines go travel far too. Some terrifying stuff. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, no. Okay. I believe you. Don't worry, I believe you. Oh my gosh. Well, Griffin, I gotta go to sleep because I've been up all day without taking a nap. My eyes are like bugging out. But I will, wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, it's been fun talking and everything, but I love my life. I love being retired, and I feel like I was born again physically after I retired. Like day after I retired, my life changed for the better. But anyway, I'll continue. We'll chat. Yeah, we'll chat later. Thank you. Well, have a good day. Have a good night. See ya. Happy Florida. Yeah.